Hey, what's up everyone? In this video I'm going to show you how to create really complex macro interactions such as this one that you can see right now on the screen, 100% in Figma. So get sure to watch this video until the end. My name is Kia and here is the Kimo. Welcome to my channel. In one of my previous videos about how to create macro interaction, I showed you some example of the macro interaction with the smooth animation that I found it in a Dribble website. Later on, I got a comment in which someone asked me that these kind of animations are looking so smooth and advanced. He asked me if it's possible to make such animations in the Figma as well. So I thought, why not? Let's give it a try and see if it works. In this video, you're gonna see how I remake the icons using the pen tool in the Figma. And then in the next step, you will see how I create the keyframes of each animation that we have in this interaction. And at the end, you will see how I use the prototyping feature in the Figma to connect these keyframes to each other and define the animation's behaviors. I know this video can be a bit longer than usual, but please bear with me until the end, and I'm pretty sure you will learn some new techniques that you might need later on in your project as well. But before we go further in this process, if you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and watch the other videos as well. Now, without making this video longer, let's get started. I'm gonna start the process by remaking this icon in the Figma using the pen tools and the other feature that we have in the Figma. So let's make a screenshot from this video and then open the Figma app and copy the screenshot that we made here. I'm going to use this screenshot as a reference image for my icon. I'm gonna pick the pen tool and try to recreate the outline of the icons following the path of the reference image. I'm just adding the main point of the icons without creating any curved edges. In the next step, I'm going to select some of the corners and increase the corner radius in order to create curved borders. The icon is ready. What I'm going to do is I just add some anchor point or some extra point here on top and here in these edges in order to create a bit slightly curved borders. I follow the same technique. I add the point, move it to the right or left a bit, and then select the borders and increase the corner radius. To just have better visibility, I want to increase the size of the icon that we made. After I increase the size, I would also increase the border thickness and again refine the corner radius and adjust it to have a better shape. In the next step, I'm going to delete the reference image and I'm going to create a frame for the icon. Don't forget to create this frame because later on we would need it in order to create the main component. In the next step, I'm going to transform this path to the shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the symbol that we made and click here on outline stroke. In the next step, I'm going to duplicate this one and remove all the point that we have in the center of the shape. The version on the right side is going to be the fill state of the icon. Let's change the color to the one that we have in the video. So I made a screenshot again from the video that we have as reference and select the fill state of the icon and pick the color of the main icon that we have in the reference. Now I'm going to rename this layers and then I'm going to create another rectangle here on top of the fill state of the icon. I'm going to use this rectangle as a mask. What I'm going to do is select this both layer and right click on one of them and then click on the use as a mask. Now when I select the mask layer and move it up and down, you can see that we completely mask the main icon with this rectangle. We are going to use this to animate the filling effect from downside to the top, which we have in the main video that you already saw it. Now what I'm going to do is rename this one to the fill again and I'm going to align both of them in the center. When I did this step, I'm going to add another shape, which is this circle, which is going to be visible downside of the icon when the icon hit the ground, kind of creating the shadow filling. So I'm creating a simple circle and change the color to purple that we have and reduce the opacity. Let's group all the layers that we have. In this step, I'm going to create another frame. Here in this part of the icon, don't forget, that's really important, that the center of this frame stand where exactly I put it right now. So it should be here, because I'm going to use this frame as the anchor point for rotation, let's say animation. And then I bring all the group and all the elements that we have under this frame. But you can see that here now we cannot see all the icons, so I select the frame that we made and deselect the clip content. Now when I rotate the frame, you can see that we are rotating the icons based on this anchor point. There might be another way to achieve this one, but so far I couldn't find any better way. I hope that we can have any feature in the future that we can actually define the anchor point for the rotation, which might make our job much easier. In the next step, I'm gonna analyze the animation and the macro interaction that we have in the reference video, and I would see which kind of interaction we have in each step. We have the default state in the beginning, and then user can hover on the icon, and then we have this hover state, clicking interaction actually, and again after the user selected the icon, we have again hover effect, and again the clicking interaction would happen, and then after this we have again the default state. So these are all the interaction, or the, let's say, click flow of the user to complete this macro interaction. Now we have the component, the main component, with all the elements that we need. It's time to convert it to component. I'm going to create keyframes for every step in this animation that we would have. So the default state is going to be the one that we just see the icon in a normal state. So I'm going to make the opacity of, I'm going to actually move the mask of the fill layer like this, and decrease the opacity of this circle here to 0%, and this is going to be the default state. Now it's time to create the next keyframe. Let's add auto layout to this one to organize it easier. In the second keyframe is when the user hover on the default state, we will have this tilting animation to the left and right. So I'm selecting the anchor point that we made and rotate the icon 7 degrees to left, duplicate this component, select again the anchor point, and this time I tilt it to left, or rotate it to left -7 degrees. And after this we will have default state, which I will rotate it again to 0 degree. This is going to be the hovering animation, or what will happen when the user hovers on the icon. Now let's go to the next step. When user click on this icon, so I duplicate this one, and what will happen is the icon will move on top, so I will move the icon a bit up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate another version and then move the icon here a bit, and even I resize it to create the same effect that we have in the reference. In the next step, we will see this filling animation, so I move the rectangle in the mask to fill whole icon with purple color, and also I will increase the shadow layer opacity to 40 or 44%. So don't forget to resize the shadow layer here. This shadow will grow under the icon when the icon hit it. So in the next step I duplicate it again, and select the shadow layer and increase the size and reduce the opacity to 0% again. And that's pretty much it. So we have this 3 keyframe for clicking state or clicking interaction. Let's duplicate this one again, the last version that we made, and we want to create the hovering state again. So I will click the anchor point, rotate the icon 7 degrees to left, duplicate again. Don't forget to do this rotation with this anchor point that we made. So to -7 degrees, and then let's duplicate it again. And this time I'm going to rotate it to 0 degrees. Now this hovering state is ready. The next step would be when we click on the icon. So what will happen is the mask would move again down, so we will have such effect. I might resize the icon again a bit. Before doing this resize, I duplicate it to make my job easier. Now we have all the keyframes that we would need in this macro interaction. It's time to open the prototype panel, select the first keyframe, connect it to the second one, to the next one, and define how this interaction should happen. So in the first one, we want this transition to happen when a user hover it. So I set the transition type on the while hovering, or interaction type on the while hovering, and the animation type on the smart animation. I would set the animation duration on 50 milliseconds, and now I connect this keyframe to the next one, and this time I set the interaction type on after delay. The delay duration I want to have 0 or 1 millisecond, basically really less, and this time I put the animation duration on 150 milliseconds because it's going to rotate more than what it happened in the last step. The next step, again, I will connect this one to the next keyframe. The same setting going to happen. So after delay, 0 millisecond, but this time again 50 millisecond because it's basically the same as it was in the first transition. Now in this step I'm going to create another frame, and I call it preview. I want to check that if the transition works well until now. So I drag and drop the icon that we made from the asset list and run the prototype. And as you can see, we have this tilting animation, which is smooth and good as we expected. After hover state, we have this clicking state. In the clicking state, when the user click on it, we want that this keyframe move to the next one. So I set the interaction type on click and the animation type on the smart animation. The duration should be 50 milliseconds, it's fine. I connect this keyframe to the next one, and this time we want this transition happen after delay. The duration or the delay duration should be 0 millisecond or 1 millisecond, and the animation should happen in 150 milliseconds. So let's make this one also a bit longer, or maybe 150 here as well. I want to have smooth animation that we can clearly see this movement, so not really quick one. I do the same setting for the next let's say transition after delay, 0 millisecond, and it's time to check the preview. Now we would have this hovering effect again. So when user click on this or hover this icon in this state, we want to have tilting animation. So I connect to this one and set the interaction detail in this way that you see. Then I connect this keyframe to the next one, this time after delay. The delay duration, I set it always 1 millisecond. Then animation duration, this time 150. I connect this one to the next or last keyframe. And this time again the same setting. After delay, we check the preview. And now it's the last step. I'm going to connect this keyframe to the next one. I would set the interaction type on the unclick, and the animation duration again 150 to have smoother animation. But the next one I will set it again after delay, and as you can see, all the detail would be like this. But before we go and check the preview, I would like to create a loop animation. I will connect the last keyframe to the first one and set it after delay 20 milliseconds or something, not so much, but I want to have some delay here. Can have the instant one, which means it will instantly change to first one. Now let's check the preview. So when user hover on it, we have this tilting animation, and then when user click on it, we have this effect, and then we have this hover animation again, and when the user click on it, we have this animation. I hope you learned something new in this video. If you do so, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, leave a comment. And I really want to know from your side that which kind of topics or which kind of content you would like to see in this channel. Let's learn together and see you in the next video.